Hey guys, what's going on? Just coming with you to a video. Just coming to you with a video. Hey guys, what's going on? Just coming to you with a video that I've been wanting to make for the past couple months. And I think I've been having such a hard time with this video because of the nature of it. And I go back and forth about what I want to share with people and what I don't want to share. And I decided to finally figured out how I want to share what I want to share. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, but before I do any of that, I know that people see me a certain way, and it's not really my job to police how people see me or what people feel and things like that. But I will say this, guys, if you guys, any of you, anybody that is watching this video, anybody at all, if you have questions about anything that I say, please do not go to anyone else. Do not ask anyone else what's wrong with me. Come and ask me. You know why? Because those people don't know. I mean, at this point, I get it. They don't know. And it's unfair to put them in a position where now they have to figure out what's going on. I kind of feel like it's a burden on other people. So genuinely, guys, I have no problem explaining anything that I say here. All I ask is that you be respectful in your questions. I don't make any of these videos to bash anyone, family, friends, in between. This is just my experience. It's my point of view. It's how I view my own personal experiences, how things happen, how things have played out, and how things have changed in my life. And it's not for anybody to agree. I'm not looking for anybody to agree. This is not one of those videos where I'm saying, I need you to agree. I care less if anybody agrees. This is for the people that it's for. So just to reiterate, September is Suicide Prevention Month. I really wanted to put out this video on my grandmother's birthday, which was the 20th, but I was having a really hard time that day in particular for different reasons. Oh gosh, a freaking fly. Anyway, for different reasons. And I haven't posted anything anywhere. So what even made me think about this so hard is in my discussions with God, it was just like, what are you waiting for? You've been ready to talk about this for months. What was taking you so long? Like, what is getting you stuck where you feel like you can't talk about whatever it is that you need to talk about? And I realized it was just about people being in their feelings about these things. So I just was like, you know what? I have to figure out a way to reach the people that I said I want to reach. And what happened, I was invited to a live by my big cousin. And in that live, it was, I think that you can get motivation from anywhere. And in that live, I got to see him interact with another man that was super motivational, like he was talking about vulnerability and, being at the top of your game and being able to, let people in on the good parts, the bad parts, and just being honest about things and how they play in different parts of your life, and how you have to hold yourself accountable and things like that. And that's the name of the game, like, especially in being an entrepreneur and being a mom and being a person and, just interacting with people. You deal with so many things that sometimes you get so caught up in the process of trying to temper situations and people around you that you lose sight of, how to move. And as a lot of you know, I don't know how, other than my family and my close friends, I ain't old, I'm really young. But my experiences are a little different than most people, and I've had a lot more experiences faster than a lot of people because I had a kid early. So, and that's fine. I don't really have an issue in that way. But I have been trying to figure out a way to talk about my own personal run-ins with suicide or not wanting to be here or things like that, and what part I really wanted to pinpoint, because I saw something that said that people have been killing themselves at a faster rate than COVID, right? And I was just like, why is that such a shocking phenomenon? Or why is it even considered to be a phenomenon? There are a lot of people that aren't able to fully express themselves before all of this stuff happened, before we've been such a judgmental society. So I don't really understand what's about it. There are a lot of people that you talk to every single day that have real problems and real things going on, and people are like, oh, just get over it. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, it's not that serious. Oh, all you have to do is that's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. At the point where you feel like you want to kill yourself, the only thing that's really going to pull you out of it is a really good support team, whether it's yourself and God, or yourself and someone else that you probably don't even want to burden, or somebody that also sees your plight. At the end of the day, that's it. So I'll tell you guys about this, and I kind of settled on this because I've kind of come to terms with adults are people too, and this is not what started it, but this created a distrust in me as a kid that trickled over into my adulthood. And it took me to realize that it really doesn't, like, people who are going to do what they feel is best, and when you fall outside of those agendas, you kind of fall on one side or the other. How you deal with that is just how you deal with that. When I was in junior high school, I was very depressed. I had very significant life changes that occurred for different reasons that maybe one day I'll be more comfortable speaking about openly. But I had a substitute teacher that saw I was writing something dark, and this was on our free time because she was a substitute teacher. And when we went to lunch, she pretty much looked through my stuff, found it, read it, and gave it to the assistant principal. And when she gave it to the assistant principal was alarmed, obviously, and they had me evaluated, right? So I had to be evaluated before I came back to school, but I was depressed. Like, it wasn't like it was a secret. It wasn't like, it was just something that was not, how do I want to word this? It was just something that was looked at it as an inconvenience at that time because so many other things were going on. So instead of necessarily dealing with the problem, the problem kept escalating because I really did need help. The help that I needed, I didn't get because now it was more about getting out of that situation. It wasn't about helping me not be depressed. That situation made me more depressed. It ended me in a place where I ended up in a place with more people that had those similar issues. And even though I can say it took about a month, I'm going to say maybe a 30-day span of my life, full cycle of things, when I was in junior high school, that experience made me realize, don't ever let anybody know how you feel. That experience made me realize that I can't tell my family how I really feel. That experience made me realize that nobody takes what I said serious other than people outside. And because even now as an adult, I realized that it's just because those were not topics that were openly spoke about within my family or in my surroundings. It was just seemed like, oh, you're making a big deal out of it because just tell them this or just tell them that. All it did was make me go inward and not talk to people because I didn't want to go through that. At the point where that's how I got through things, just talking to myself about it, like writing it down, and that's how I was coping with it. So somebody sort of violated my privacy by going through my book and like taking out this paper. Yeah, and I get it. We were in school, so that she technically had to say something, but she took the extra mile to go through my stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So I get that part as well. So, am I upset with her? Again, she was a substitute teacher. It wasn't. You know what I mean? She was a substitute teacher, like. So, I was more upset with the fact that she had done that than everybody else's reaction, because I already knew I couldn't talk to people about it, and I didn't. It was like one of those things like, look at the shit that you did, because now you decide to be, figure out another way to deal with it yourself. So yeah. So like I said, I stopped talking to people. And then I started to seek out other people to talk to, which sort of trickled into other parts of my life because, it is what it is. I ended up in different spaces with different people of all walks of life because I felt like those people were simpler to talk to. Now, it's not to say that I opened up and spilled my whole guts to all these people or I was being completely honest with these people. It was just about how I coped with just living, because what else? I don't trust nobody. And then the one person that I finally did trust, they didn't trust me because I wasn't being completely honest with them. And then when we kept going back and forth about this or that, they showed me that, there is no such, at that point, they showed me there is no such thing as unconditional love. So what I'm doing that for? It sucks. I'm just trying to walk you guys through this, where my mind was then. But I experienced a lot more hurt by trying to deal with not being able to talk about what was going on in my mind. And then after that whole experience with like needing to be evaluated and going through that whole process and all that, it just pretty much turned into a thing of how do I get through this? Like how can I just maneuver through that? But there was no real way to go through it other than to. Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm skipping a part. After that whole experience, I had to go to therapy, right? And that sort of made it worse because then my views on therapy at the time were shot because I couldn't be honest about how I felt there either because she was waiting. She was waiting for me to say I was ready to kill myself. She was like, "That's how you feel about that? You feel like you want to kill yourself today? Do you feel like that today?" And you got me one time. You only got me one time. You got me. And yeah, for a long time, the one person that I did open up to about those things betrayed me too. And I still have to live with that. I have to live with that. That, that saying, hurt people hurt people. I mean, in every situation that I can think of, it's sort of like I had a counter. In every situation that happened in this particular situation, I had to figure out a way around things. And instead of it just being like, I got this and people see that this is what's going on with me, it just turned into more of a thing of like, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? Like, every time I figured out my way around one thing, it was another obstacle. Like, yeah, I get it. Life is full of obstacles. But remember, all of this was happening when I was a child. I was a kid and I'm supposed to be in a child's place and I'm supposed to do these things because I am a child. But like, it was a lot of contradictory things going on here because even though I was a child, everybody was treating me like, okay, you're a child, but you can make these adult decisions because this benefits me. Make these adult things happen because this is what's beneficial for this. If it's not beneficial to that, be in a child's place, stay in a child's place, this child. And those lines got blurred very fast because there is no, it's one way or the other. It's kind of hard to explain to a child why it's okay for them to make an adult decision but stay in a child's place. So no matter how many things I thought myself around, or no matter how many obstacles I ended up encountering because of my decisions, those decisions came as a result of me being allowed to make an adult decision. Like it was just one of those things. Like right now, and I'll say it like this: if any of the things that played out with me as a child played out with my own kid, I would be losing my shit. Like I would be losing my shit. Like I don't even know how else to say it. But what I learned is that people are people. I was so angry for so many years because it was just like, I can see this. Why is it not like this with other people? And why don't other people understand? Like, I have all these things going on, and I have all these different things just to make my life okay. Just okay. Not great, not exponential, not amazing. I'm not a billionaire. I don't live in a fancy mansion, and I don't do. Why are people giving me such grief for me to just temper and balance myself without, like, walking out my door and crying? Like, why do I keep running into these situations where it just feels like I'm getting beat up from every angle? I feel like from the time I was like 13 to about, and I'm going to say even before 13, I'm going to say like 11 or 12. But definitely from like 13 to about 19, I was struggling. And not necessarily financially, mentally, emotionally. And I was having such a hard time having a grasp on reality because nobody around me was able to really explain to me what the fuck was going on with me. And it was just like, well, you did the same stuff, and you did this, and you did that. Everybody was so worried about their feelings and what was happening with them. And it is what it is. Again, the person that I am, I see now that people worry about themselves. And I'm only explaining this for the people that are going through these things. And I'm saying this to say, I went through all those things. I'm not at the end of the road, and I have gone through the feelings of not wanting to be there and have acted on it and have made certain things happen because that is how I genuinely felt. Those feelings have been overwhelming in different parts of my life, right? Now, when you don't trust somebody, whether you know it consciously or not, you do things that show that you're trusting or not. Now, it could be toxic, and it could be something that you may not even know you're doing. But hey, I mean, I was young trying to figure it out, and I was willing to say, hey, I'll keep living a little to figure it out. I know that it has to be something at the end of the yellow brick road. Like, that was my thing. Like, there's no way I'm putting all of this good out, and I'm not, and this is what I'm getting back. But I realized I was putting out good to the wrong people. I was helping all these people and thinking I'm doing right by people, and people were like pretty much throwing it back in my face like, oh, you're not doing what you're doing what everybody else wants. You're not treating me like this. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? The problem is when you're trying to please other people, guys, is that you're not leading with you. So you're thinking you're doing what's right, but you're splitting yourself too thin. So that's what was happening. I was trying to please these people. And it had nothing to do with what I wanted to do. Had nothing to do with anything I wanted to do. Not one thing. So what happened? I got into more situations that I didn't want to be involved in. I got involved with more people that didn't know how to treat me. It got involved with more people that had more opinions about my life and who was there and how I treated them because I'm not being this way to them. But I was doing everything in my mind, to me. So this is my opinion. And I was doing things where I felt like this is supposed to be making me closer to those people. These are the things that was, oh, this is fine. you know what, this is what this person wants. I give it to them and then it's not enough. I do this and then it's not enough. I make this part happen. I bust my ass and doing everything that everyone else wants and nothing for myself. And now I don't even have the energy to do nothing for myself because now I'm exhausted. And now I'm so exhausted that I keep repeating the same cycle because I'm not getting nowhere. Because no matter what I put in, it was never what anybody else genuinely wanted because I was doing things that everybody wanted. To me. I'm doing a little bit of everything. Remember, I was also like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 when these things were happening. So I was still learning and being a mom and trying to get myself through out of these fucked up feelings, you know? I'm not even mad anymore, guys. It is what it is. But I always understood that there has to be more. Now, there are a few things that happened after 1920 that really broke me, and it furthered my distrust of people because I felt like people always said, "Oh, you don't ask for help." So how do you expect people to help you if you don't ask for help? Why let somebody tell me that shit? Because what happened was when I really needed help, like when it wasn't financial help, it was like help when I went through a situation in a like tumultuous relationship, and it was toxic, and I needed help getting out of it because I was pretty much getting we was in there thumping. We was fighting. But fuck it, I don't know how else to say it. Like I don't know how else to say it. We was fighting. And the problem was the two people I went to pretty much told me like, what you want me to do? And that's why I am a no-nonsense person when it comes to people in abusive relationships. I am a no-nonsense person when people want me to talk to their teenage daughters about getting rid of their children. I am a no-nonsense person when people say that they want to kill themselves. I am a no-nonsense person when people dismiss people's feelings. I am a no-nonsense person when it comes to kids, children, and decisions that they need to make. And I'm not necessarily vocal about those things until I need to be vocal because I don't care if people agree with me about my thoughts, or these are the things I just explained to you are the reasons why I even feel like that to begin with. So I was a teenage mom. I did, go through all these things with not being heard, and I have been in toxic relationships, and I have been in abusive relationships where people sort of be like, oh, well, you probably deserved it, and you probably this, and you probably that, and no nonsense when it comes to other people. I'm sorry, especially people I care about. When I see other people that I care about are depressed, new moms, I'm really like, I get how that gets, because everyone's like, oh, that's just something you go through as a mom. You shouldn't be alone. Like, I know a lot of people that have had kids in the past year that I check on quite frequently. And not because I'm like, oh, but that's just part of who I am. Like, it's good. Like, I don't know. Like, I've always felt like I just needed a person to check on me and say, are you good? Like, you want to get some coffee? Like, I don't know. I don't know necessarily what I needed then. other than for someone to say, hey, I see this is what's happening, not, oh, it's hard. And life is hard regardless, no matter how, life is, not hard. I don't want to keep saying life is hard. Life is one of those things where you have to sort of temper. Like, there's a book that I was reading where it talks about the creation of the world, right? And it says that these gods got together, and one had scalding hot water and one had super icy water. I'm explaining in the lowest terms I can. And pretty much every time the one that had the scalding hot water would cover the earth with all this water, it wouldn't grow, it wouldn't do anything. And she decided to have this other god come in and put a certain amount of freezing ice water out to be able to balance the temperatures. And they realized that with the combination of these two things, it sort of worked together to be able to allow the water to not boil everything out and be able to allow life to thrive, because the water was cool enough, or at a great temperature that was good for growth. And I kind of feel like that's how life is. You know, you meet people along the way that will change your views, change things that's going on in your life, good things, bad things. You know, they say that, you know, certain turning points in your life are based off of a few choices that you make. And every choice that you make, people that you encounter, people that you see, talk to, social media, in your regular life, those people change things ever so slightly. Like that movie, The Butterfly Effect. The butterfly effect. I haven't seen that movie in years, but for anybody that has seen it, remember he kept going back into time to change that one thing, because he thought that one thing changed this thing. But every time he would go back to change that one thing, it would be something that was very different about his life. Not even a little, very different. Like, the things that were the same were ever slightly different. So it brings you back to saying, just know that things don't stay the same, guys. I'm not saying you have to treat things like me. I'm not saying that, you know, these things are just simple, or all you gotta do is just ignore people, and all you gotta do is this, and or curse everybody out, or fuck how they feel. And no, that's not how life works either. The only thing that has changed in between then and now, because people still hurt my feelings and people still try the toxic shit, my cutoff game has grown strong, y'all. Like, I am the cutoff queen if I need to be, but I'm also really nice, and I believe in magic, and I think that the world could be a better place. And I figure it has to start with myself, yourself. We can all make shit easier for each other. Now, if you decide that you want to make things harder for me, be blessed. We don't have to talk every day. There's a lot of people I love that I don't ever plan on having real conversations with outside of, hey, how are you? How you feeling? That's it. That's all I really aspire to do, because I don't necessarily want to spread my, can you please stop talking to me? But in the same breath, there are some people I feel like that about. I'm not going to say I don't, but I'm also not going to be fake about it. I think that everybody should be respectful at minimum to each other. That's just my thoughts. We don't gotta like each other, but we should show each other. We should show each other mutual respect, and it's gonna start with me showing you respect. Hello, how are you? How you doing? Now, what you decide to do after that, because you hate my guts, or you like me, or you don't like me, or whatever it is that you want to say in between, that's on you. But to bring it back to my topic, guys, it starts with you. How do you feel about you? How do you deal with people when they're doing those things to you? And especially for the really young people that will see this and feel dark, please know that there's something on the other side. I have not gotten to whatever it is that I always thought was so, like, when I get here, it's going to be amazing. When I get $1 million, I'm going to feel great. When I go to another country, I'm going to feel amazing. And when I get in this great relationship, I'm going to feel good. And when I have these amount of friends, and when my friends the people that I consider friends, take my things into consideration, I'm gonna feel better. Ain't none of that made me feel better. And to be clear, I'm not saying that I have $1 million or friends or any of those things. I'm saying that the things that I thought that was gonna make me feel better, those things did not. The things that I say you manifest those little things. The things that I thought were gonna make me feel better didn't, guys. Because people were still out here wilding. I didn't feel better about any of those things. I didn't feel better about those people. I didn't feel better about none of that. None of that. I didn't feel better. You know when I felt better? When I said, you know what? I started working during the daytime, right? And I met this girl. And she was a lie so much. Oh my gosh. And I just couldn't understand why. She used to lie so much. Like, we used to spend all this time together. Like, I had grown this trust for her, but she just was such a big liar, and I didn't understand why. Like, it got to the point where I started just confronting her about it. Like, why do you lie so much? Like, I wasn't there. Like, why are you acting like that? And eventually it led to her distancing herself. But it was one of the things as an adult that made me realize that it had shit to do with me. Like, that was her own thing. Like, she just was a liar in general. Her lying had nothing to do with anything I did to her. I mean, and then she used to, like, make it so that it was like these lies, like she was trying to impress me or something like that. I'm the last person to impress what you impressing me for. Like, it used to confuse me. Like, I still got a lot of love for her. I spend a lot of time with her. I mean, we have a lot of experiences together, and she's taught me so much, so I won't discredit her in that way. But I told her, what you lying to me for? I up until maybe like a year ago, I still would try to reach out to her and see what's going on. Like, because we used to talk every day, all day. And I only bring that up to say, people are gonna do based on their experiences. All you can do is be who you are. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to feel bad because of other people. So I've gone through a lot of time of spending time with myself, ignoring people, talking to God, talking to now both my grandmas, talking to my 2 male friends that's passed on, and trying to get them to like guide me where I'm going, because I miss them like crazy, you know. And at the end of the day, I connect more to that, because at the end of the day, I tried the human thing. That ain't really worth it. I tried the human thing, and it's not to say I'll stop trying, but I understand that people just don't understand my experience. And as I grow, I share a little bit more, and I realize that people are just not understanding in the way I need them to be understanding, to be able to fully accept this is what I feel, because people don't really understand that, or they have feelings about what I feel, which is not helpful to me at all. Like, I don't need you to feel based on me feeling. I just need you to kind of hear me and say, that's fucked up. That's tough. Not give me reasons of why you feel I shouldn't feel that way, or why you feel like I shouldn't do that, or whatever. Like, that doesn't change that I need to do this or be there or whatever. Guys, it starts with how you feel about the things you need to do. And I only say that because you can't police everybody. Everybody's not gonna agree with you and your decisions. People are not gonna like that you want to better yourself. Some people in your life, you'll figure out that they'll be upset when you start getting more successful, or you start getting more money, or when you start having better love, or when you start making better choices for yourself, because people want to see you do good, not better than them. Not in all cases. Not in all cases. Not in all cases. But for the people that this applies to, if you feel like, or you see that people are being that way to you, you have to change your thoughts about you first, guys. I'm saying that that's the only thing that has changed, because there are still some people that just come on out and be like, how could you do that? And I'm just like, so you don't see me over here running around like a chicken with my head cut off? And I will say that just because you talk to people about your feelings, they don't change. It is an outlet. It's not a relief. Again, you telling people how you feel is just a statement that is an outlet. That's it. It's not a relief to you. It's only a relief when you need to tell somebody how you feel and you've been holding it back. I don't necessarily still agree about telling people about how you feel, but I do think that if you feel like you don't want to be here anymore, and for anybody that's having a hard time just continuing on with their journey, change how you feel about the things that you're going through. Accept what you need to accept about your situation. Accept this is just where you are, and you have to start from there, guys. Because nobody will change it for you, and nobody can change it for you. And the people that care about you have their own things going on. And they always say, you can come and tell me, but in my own personal experience, you only got like 1 or 2 times to tell somebody you feel like that, because you still have to do something. So the best advice I could give you guys, if I give you nothing else, is to change how you feel first. Then you can start to prod through it. Get through understand why you feel that way. Understand what bothers you. Like all these posts that I've been putting for like in the past, like what is and how you should be and what's going on, and if you do this, and work on your heart chakra, and get a reading, and listen to your signs, and watch your angel numbers. Those things came because I needed help. I needed something to look forward to. I needed to understand that there was something that was coming, so it gave me something to look for. Me understanding why I felt like that, or what started my distrust in people, and looking at the things that people said to me along the years, and the things that still come up that bother me, it took for me to want that to be different. The one thing I will leave you with is that even with magic, whether you do it or you pay somebody to do it, there's still something that needs to be done. There is no quick fix, not even in magic. So, if you really want something to change and you want something to feel different and you want to get out of that space, guys, please, 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 figure yourself out. Take a step back and figure out why. Accept those things and do something different to change it. I'm not saying that you're going to feel better tomorrow in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You have to make changes that you're going to stick to. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. That's the biggest thing. You have to make the promises to yourself and keep those promises to yourself. Because when you keep your promises to yourself, you'll start holding other people accountable to the things that they say. And when you start holding people accountable to the things they say, it will change who's around you and how people interact with you, because they know they can't come to you in a bullshit. And if they do, you know what to do. Whether that's distance yourself, have a conversation, say this is what's up, cut them off, make the changes, go to therapy. Whatever those changes are, you now have some new things to play out. Are you ready for those things? It's only for you to decide. It took me years to decide that I had to do those things differently with everybody. With everybody. With everybody. So, I know things are going to be different. Things are going to be great. Things are great. I definitely am proud of myself from where I am right now. It took me a long time to get here. In my mind, like, oh my gosh, like, whew. But I still really feel like I have a long way to go, but I'm appreciative of where I am. I know that great things are coming. In every department of my life, I'm very excited about it. And like I told you guys back before when COVID first started, that was sometime back in March or something when I made the video that I wanted to be more open and more I just wanted to be more open and share more things, because I understand that that's part of my path as well. Here I am. I don't know. This is just for who it's for. If this does not apply to you, hey, let it fly. And if it's something that you understand or you feel like this could help someone else, I know this video is kind of long. I probably won't edit it. I hope I didn't bore any of you, and I hope I didn't scare any of you guys. I'm doing quite well. It is what it is, you know. Like I'm here and I'm alive, and I'm telling you that whatever it is that you're feeling, you guys have to figure it out. Everything is the next step. Please figure it out. Continue to try to figure it out. There's always a way, guys. There's always a way. If you don't know, you know who the right people are to talk to. You do. You do. I don't know. And if you don't, I will say this, and if you don't, God will always point you in the right direction. So if you really don't know, pray and ask for answers. What should you do next? We're not all gonna have the answers. Start with yourself. Go to God. I'm not trying to preach to you. This is just my experience. I don't know. I feel good about this. So, my name is Takia Chalet, and this is just in honor of Suicide Prevention Month. I hope that this helps, and I just want everybody to be blessed. Have a great day, guys.